Here in the studio, Marcia Sherrill, interior designer and owner of Kleinberg Sherrill Accessories, has the lowdown on window treatments and lighting. Nice to see you.
Good to see you, Matt.
Is it true 10% of the value of your home is what you can expect to pay for window treatments?
For window treatments.
That's crazy.
It's nuts. And it's about the same as flooring, which most people don't realize going into it. And in days before, you were really locked into getting the really high-end fabrics, like in New York from the D&D building or in Atlanta from ADAC. You had to work with an interior designer.
Right.
You couldn't even get to the fabrics. And the great thing is that now with Calico Corners, the traditionals, and Boca Bargoons with the wonderful toiles and all the names I can't say on television discounted, and Silk Trading with their own line of really glamorous silks, you can get the exact same quality fabrics for 75% less.
All right, now you've saved on the fabrics, but that's only part of the cost of draperies.
Exactly.
You've got to have them made. Is there any way to get a bargain on that?
Well, if you're a home sewer, which I'm assuming
Probably
you are.
not gonna happen.
You are.
Right.
You can put your pedal to the metal and just get a butterick pattern and do anything from a Roman shade to a balloon shade. What I recommend, though, is in every city in America, we've used Joven from Queens, and they're a secret resource, a designer secret. They're workrooms, and you go to the workrooms, and it's not like you're stuck doing just like those pinch pleat window treatments that your grandmother had. Oh, yes, you can do. You know, I think we have some great little scallop treatments and the finials. I love the Roman shade. And these are very articulated designs.
So this is one-stop shopping. You can get the fabric there and have them made custom for your house.
Well, you get the fabric and then you go to the workroom. These are internet and mail order catalogs and mail order vendors that you can go to for window treatments,
but
such as Decorate
on the internet,
Today.
though, you don't get to touch it and look at it.
Well, you know, Matt, they can get the swatches to you in a matter of like 2 days, so it is really pretty quick.
All right.
And the great thing is, if you're like Tiger Woods and you love golf, you just key in, because it's virtual golf, it'll pull like 30 different swatches with golf motifs and show you.
Tell me about the Gone with the Wind look you have here. What are these recycled drapes?
I am Scarlett. I am going to go down with my drapes. These are eco drapes, is what we're calling them. It started in the French Quarter, and they were magnificent draperies for the big, glorious mansions down there. And they're actually recycled. They're gently used, some of them, and some of them are just like from show houses.
So they dry clean them.
And they do. They're not. They're magnificent. But this could be a $10,000 window treatment for $1,000.
Well,
so it's a substantial savings.
What about hardware? How expensive is that?
Hardware. That's the real revolution. Because before, to get really magnificent hardware, you had to work with an interior designer. Now, at every price point, from Ambrosia Windows, from Decorate.com, and also, Matt, from some of our Calico Corners and some of our fabric stores, trims that have glass beading on them, elaborate finials, treatments, so you can really spice it up and do something couture. Okay, lighting, I'm looking above my head here. Lighting is also very expensive. Where can you get bargains on this? Look in the back of any of the big shelter books, like a House Beautiful, the Interior Design magazines, and you're going to see listed, and they're very reputable. You don't have to worry about the scams like in High Point. But what kind of percent can you say? 50%, 50 to 60% on name brand, and look, and even the designer lighting. Marcia Sherrill. Marcia, thank you very much. I'm coming over to your house to finish up. Okay. 8:44. You meant decorating, right? Yeah. For more tips on home.
Atlanta's Bennett Street is known as one of the best shopping districts in the Southeast. It's not just for decorators with big budgets, but also for those having more taste than money.
I'm here at the stalls on Bennett Street in Atlanta to catch up with renowned designer Marcia Sherrill, and we're going to talk about shopping Southern style. Hi, Marcia.
Hi, V. Welcome to the South.
You're not an easy woman to catch.
No one, and neither are you. So we finally caught up in Atlanta.
Interior design, you do handbags, you write books. What else?
I'm just imitating you. You're my idol. You are with the restaurants and everything.
Let's talk about design Southern style.
Well, you know, I think it's really changed. The thinking sort of was for a long time that it was like mahogany and hooked rugs.
Very heavy.
Very heavy, very dark and somber. And in fact, it really isn't. Today we're doing sort of a little bit of a casual dining feeling in our breakfast room here, and we've set it for a lunch.
I wouldn't say this was casual.
Well, casual in the sense that it's very ladylike, and we've got the flowers. The Southern hostess tends to love to collect, and that, in fact, is the Majolica, which they love. And because it is so whimsical
And colorful.
and colorful,
We like
and
that.
figurative, it's great. And it's
It
something that
is.
you can collect and enjoy and pass down to your children. In addition to that, there's a hostess gift.
Right.
We've done today sort of a really beautiful napkin with a little petty point. And this is a little doggy china piece that's been turned into a lamp finial, which I think is very clever. And we have our little note card. Southern hostesses love a place setting, a place card. I think in the South, that people tend to get out all their good china, get out their good silver.
But I think that that's important, and I think actually people should do it everywhere.
But you know, a lot of times in New York and on the coast, we tend to go out to dinner.
That's
In the
right.
South, there's sort of a family-centric way of living. For instance, instead of having a very formal dining room, we have a kind of a great room feeling. So it's less formal and it's more inviting. This is a really typical way of entertaining, but I'm getting ready to take you somewhere so fun.
Lead the way.
I'm on. This is our French painted lady room.
It's actually very pretty. It makes me feel like I should be wearing a dress.
Not a hoop skirt, we hope.
Well, let's talk about some of the other elements in the room.
Well, I think it's interesting, Bea, that what we brought in from the boudoir actually was a perfume bottle collection. And you wouldn't expect to find that in a living room, but the light and the color,
The lines are very nice on the bottles.
they
I
are.
like that.
And it's that idea in the South of collecting things, that they take on a new level of importance when you mass them together.
And the Oriental vases are nice.
And their rose medallion, like the Majolica, very collectible. And then, you know, if your rug, if your Aubusson carpet develops some holes, we turn them into pillows.
What a great use of an old rug. And it's really dressed up nicely with the tassels.
The idea is real exuberant design.
And glamour.
And more is more.
That's right. You know, my husband and I did a tour of Atlanta, and I see these big homes. So actually, the furnishings can be very different in many of the rooms.
And that's what's great about it, is that if you want to have a purely feminine room, then you can have a beautiful room like this.
It certainly is. Again, it's about personality. isn't it?
Exactly. If you can find the personality and marry it to the decorative elements, then you have a successful home. And that's what Southern living is all about.
The formal's elegant and it's great, but I'd like to talk a little bit about maybe the country.
The country. We're
Yeah.
very, very city here. We're getting ready to blow your mind. We're going to go so rustic country. I think you're going to love it.
Let's go.
All right.
Next, Marcia took me to another Bennett Street shop, Interiors Market, for a look at how to decorate a country home, Southern style. This is great looking. I love
I
rustic.
promised you would be veritably in a cabin back here.
Right. It's really great, you know, whether you have a second home or whether you just want to decorate like this.
Well, and you know what's great about it, Bea? It's predicated on found objects and things that are less precious. A young collector or someone just starting out, there are things they can find at a swap meet or swamp meet or a flea market or garage sales.
Right. I like the large piece back there.
It looks almost like a piece of Oriental art. It's a wheat thrasher.
Aha.
The picker's basket, which is in the metal, looks divine with the wild flowers.
It does.
And behind you, we have a grain bin. And you know, Bea, I think the weathered look and the distress thing, this would be perfect in a living room. Like you said before, it's your personality. How do we let your personality be channeled through your furnishings?
And people have to understand, when you're buying or collecting, it's not about how much you spend.
Oh,
it's about how much you
absolutely
love
not.
it.
A lot of these really weathered, beautiful copper pots can be bought in the country still for pennies.
I love the use of the old tools back there.
Better on the wall than actually in our hands.
I agree with you.
And you know, I mean, they could be as recent as 10, 15 years ago. So long as they have a little weathered patina, we hang them right on the wall and they become, you know, found art.
Well, speaking of tools, anything else to show me?
I've got to show you a garden room that you are going to love. We're bringing the outdoors indoors.
Okay.
I promised you a garden.
And we have an indoor garden here. Let's just talk about the Southern garden.
Well, because the houses were really so big, the grounds were very important, and because the winters are not very profound, you had a great stretch of time when you could enjoy the outdoors. If you want to create that garden feeling, the fastest, easiest, and the biggest pieces to bring in are old architectural elements, like our Corinthian columns and the finial, which has a great weathered feeling.
It does. And the other thing about it is they're less expensive.
Oh, they're infinitely less expensive because people really don't look at them and think, let me bring this inside. And then the cloche, and of course you knew instantly what that was. Seedlings, it's like a little miniature hothouse, and you use these. I love them hung on the wall. I think that they're really, the impact is so strong of the glass.
It's a nice look, and you can also put a plant underneath it if you want to.
And actually it would work to grow it that way.
And I like the mosaic table because the items that are in here look very Southern.
Don't
And
they?
They
It's
have
like
a nice country outdoor feel. I like the use of all the greenery indoors. It's
Oh, you
really
know, and
great.
it's not expensive grasses. So I think that that's another way that Southern hostesses can use the unexpected, like a cat's tail or just a loose grass. And you bring it all in and you ennoble it. You give it a new home.
Marcia, this has been fabulous. So whether you have an apartment, a first home, or a second home, think about decorating your interior Southern style.
Southern style.
You got it. Thank you.
Thank you, B.
Martinis have experienced a renaissance of late, and probably the most elegant of the martinis is the Cosmopolitan. What we've done tonight is we've taken 4 ounces of vodka, and then a ½ ounce of cranberry juice, the juice of a half of a lime, and then we've used a good ½ of an ounce of an orange liqueur, but you could use any fruit liqueur or framboise. I like to do shaken, not stirred. I'm sort of a Bond woman, but you can do it stirred. And again, this recipe is for 2, and you're going to want to adjust it if you have more guests. And then we like to add the little festive touch of the lime garnish. I think that it really makes the perfect sort of late night wedding. It's lovely, it's feminine, and of course the Cosmopolitans are cool, they're hip, they're cosmopolitan.
We're back, and we can't wait to see what Marcia has done to Mary's bedroom. So take a look.
Hey, Deborah. Hey, Tony. Did I
Hey.
promise you some springtime?
Yes, you did.
Did I deliver?
Yes, you did.
Voila.
Oh, wow.
Remember when you left and I was taking off those green covers, those heavy comforters? Well, all
Yeah.
I did is I came in and I brought a lot of really light cottons. They're quilted, matelassés, and damask, and all the fabrics that really resonate of spring. We've even got a floral damask on our slipcover, and a lot of super comfy pillows. We feel like spring is all about luxury and relaxation, and just some simple, easy things. It's a matter of some bedding, and then coming over to the drapes, I just took off those panels. I complained about them earlier, and I just took them off. They're great in winter, but get rid of them for spring. And the rug. Instead of that big rug, gorgeous as it is, in the middle, we took a lot of the light carpet and put a little area rug here with a lot of floral pattern and some great colors. And the rest we did with accessories. I mean, it's not that difficult. We came over and, for instance, I just did a little fringe trim on the lampshade here, some little pearl frames, even things like taking a picture from another room in the house and putting it in, bringing a screen in. These type of things, a topiary, all little teeny tiny touches that add up to springtime, summer. We took over here, and instead of having a big dark piece of furniture that's really cumbersome and unwieldy, we just put a lace runner down it. It lightens the whole thing up.
Marcia, this room is absolutely beautiful and certainly looks a lot more like spring. What were the 2 main themes you used in redecorating this room?
Well, I'd have to say that because we were concentrating on spring, florals, and because we already had a lot of floral going on in our wallpaper, we decided instead of trying to minimize that, we would add on to it and layer on. So we did some different floral patterns and put pattern on pattern, even with little palm trees and bumblebees in our pillows here, and some beading. And the other thing I think was because we were working with a lot of florals and a lot, some heavy furniture that we love, we decided that we would bring in gold. And gold sort of neutralizes everything, from the gilt finials that we just put on the edge of the bed to the gilt lamp that we moved from the other, basically the other bedroom, to the pillows that have a little gilt in them. It sort of brings, it was a neutralizing thing, and it's kind of feminine.
Well, it looks absolutely fantastic, but I do believe we should bring Mary in. She can be the
I
judge.
do too.
Right?
Bring her in, Mary.
Oh my God. Oh, it looks beautiful.
Do you like
It's
it?
springtime. I love it. Oh my God, I can't believe it's my room.
Well, we wanted to make you happy. Have we done it?
Oh, you certainly have. I can't wait for my next busy day. I want to come to my room.
That may be this afternoon. Mary, you know what we did is we just did a lot of pillows. They're not expensive, so don't think, oh my God, we've gone nuts. A lot of this you can actually do yourself if you're a home sewer, or a lot of it's just tying fabric onto your pillows. And it's not so feminine. I mean, it's feminine, it's springy, but I don't think it's so feminine your
that
husband's
sounds
going to
great.
go rushing out of the room.
Not at all.
All right, well, I'm going to leave you here. I'm going to
it's
disappear. I did
beautiful.
my magic.
All of this is faux, which is important to remember.
Yeah, that
This
is
all
important.
endangered. And we've done some really interesting things with Pepper. They're not all expensive.
And it all kind of started with the fashion world first,
Absolutely.
right? Just like what you're wearing
Diana's
there.
dress and Saint Laurent, all those guys, and it goes from the Paris runway to New York and then filters down into our homes.
That's right. Well, let's take a look, okay? Because you brought some lovely things here. Let's walk around the room in a sense with our camera, okay? And let's
Absolutely.
take a look, and you explain it to us.
What's interesting is you can realize that the trend is translated through the market. When Ethan Allen did these chairs, they're a gilt chair upholstered in the leopard, and they have a check back, which you can't see, that's really charming, not expensive. We've got a leopard throw that's hanging on the back of the chair, great as an Afghan for snuggling up in your safari room. The ottoman, actually, I got at a flea market. $40.
Really? And you just covered it?
Had it upholstered in sort of it's a hair calf, which is like a leather that's printed with the zebra, the leopard. It's not real. Then we take these pillows, and instead of the beanbag chair, which we grew up with, we're using a leopard for a little less subtle look.
Yeah, this got a little style to it. And these are, we're talking about accent pieces here,
Absolutely. Use them as punctuation in a room. You know, we've continued up and with our theme and done some animal prints in the room, but you don't have to do that. You could have family portraits or botanicals. You don't have to religiously adhere to an animal theme. On the sofa, we've just done the cream cover.
Okay.
So it's nice and neutral.
So this is kind of a backdrop here now, right?
Yeah. I wanted to do something red and velvet, and they stopped me.
Okay.
Imagine that.
Well, this is good. This looks good.
This is nice and neutral.
Okay.
And the throw, which I told you is actually Annabelle's crib throw that Adrienne Landau, the queen of fur accessories, made for her baby room.
Right.
So you can even use leopard in the nursery.
We're using leopard, and what else are you using?
A
cheetah?
Zebra.
And zebra?
Behind you, I think that's a cheetah, that
Right
pillow,
here.
which is a hair calf.
Is one more expensive than the other?
Well, I think they're more expensive when they're actually leather like that one, Ernie, than when they're a printed fabric.
I
And the
see.
pillows range, they can be from $10 to we've seen them up to $300. But don't feel like everything has to be animal. And I keep hearkening back to that because sometimes people think, oh, how much leopard is too much leopard? You can see spots. We've actually taken and done a lampshade that's sort of a faux Hermes print. That's from my collection.
Yeah, right here.
And then sitting beside it is a sort of the tortoise frame and the tortoise vase. So mix the tortoiseshell and the leopard.
So that's important now. You're telling me mix and match, right? Give it that nice feel. And what about texture with fabrics and so
Well,
forth?
I think it's important to continue with the texture. People think, I mean, look at the damask. I think it looks fine with it. We've done the candlesticks that are in the tortoise, and we've mixed our woods here, done some neutrals, the sconces that are in the gilt, which is nice. And you don't have to have all dark wood or all pine or all anything. It's about what's fun for you. Like you have the room in your house that you said you were doing the animal
we've
prints.
used some leopard, exactly. But dark wood seems to work better, though.
I have a preference for dark wood. The console that we use today with the marble top on it is a dark wood. And really a fairly traditional piece. I mean, this is something that you would expect to see in almost like a country kitchen, and it looks wonderful here. It's got a little ormolu surmount. We've mixed all the prints. The frames are actually, some of them are the hair cap, and some of them just have leopard mats. You can see my entire family.
You can get, but you can get very creative with all of this, obviously.
Sure.
And how about, now my concern would be, you know, the care. What about taking care of and having it cleaned and so forth?
You know, I mean, a rug obviously is going to get heavy usage. That's why I love the leopard, because having a small child, I mean, they hide a multitude of sins. I mean, my dogs feel like they literally are in the wild kingdom.
No, that's very true. This does hide dirt very
good.
well. Yeah,
Perfectly.
without a doubt.
And we mixed in a wrought iron table here in the front to show you that you don't have to have the dark. Say you don't have the wood, or you don't have the, the gilt wood, or whatever. It's a good match. The rattan basket with the African market ostrich eggs looks splendid.
See, all of these accessories really add a lot to it as well.
Oh, they make the room.
Yeah, it's an overview, isn't it, really, that you're looking at?
And take the theme that was on the runways in Paris, that was on the runways in New York, that was on our bodies, and just and in our cribs and on our beds, and just bring it into your living room.
So there's a big call right now. I mean, this is it. This is the hot stuff.
This is the hot ticket right now.
And we got to tell everybody again, this is faux, right? This is not the real thing.
We have Marion Animal has given its life for our animal prints. Unless it was my dog Dixie Belle, who's seen me bring all these things in and out of the house all these years. We've got down to the coasters.
Marcia, listen, you've done a great job here today. We're just sit here and relax a little bit, bring in some of that music if we want.
A little nap time.
Oh, how about that?
When you're seeing Spot.
Going to show us a picture and tell us about this one client. Take a look at this. This is so gorgeous.
Oh, and it's your typical New York City apartment, and the bedroom is the sanctuary. The woman bought this bed, we bought it together on a trip to France, and it's an antique French four-poster, thousands and thousands of dollars. The silk Dupioni dust ruffle, which was handmade for the bed, it was all custom. And then we took a lot of heirloom pieces from her family, like her grandmother's wedding dress and some Battenberg laces she'd gotten on traveling trips, and we made them into pillows.
Looks expensive, you know what? Even just from the way you're describing it. I bet it was a lot of money.
Frighteningly
but a lot of layers, I notice, right?
Everything is layered. And what we've done is the same thing with our beds here.
Yeah.
We don't have an antique bed. This is a lit a la polonaise, they call it, because you can actually drape things from the top.
And this is a reproduction?
Sure is.
Yeah.
It's from Houston, Texas, and from Martin Neck Designs, and it's reasonable. It's about $1,000. And then river beds are all traditional sizes now. It's a full, it's a standard, it's a queen. If you want a queen or a king, you can't buy an antique bed. You have to buy something that's relatively new.
Okay, so we start off with a gorgeous bed like this at the right price,
At the right price.
Now, what do we put on it?
And then we layer it. We make it very, very high. The way I make my beds high is I use 2 mattresses and 1 box spring. Now, this bed came high, and we've got the comforter on the top, and it's in a duvet, which is charmant.
It's so soft. Wow.
Isn't it gorgeous?
Beautiful.
This is from Anne Gish, who is the Saint Laurent of bedding, with a little bitty tiny Chinese knots.
Look at the detail on it.
It's like a couture gown.
Wow.
And then underneath, we go to a blanket cover. No blanket should ever touch your skin. It should have a blanket cover on top, like a sheet.
All right.
And then Princess and the Pea, or like the Princess and the... Keep digging, keep digging.
All the way down.
All the way down.
Another layer, okay.
And then beneath the sheet is the feather bed, which makes it into a cloud.
Oh,
it
this is
becomes,
so
you're
soft.
enveloped in soft down.
This looks all very expensive.
Well, they're a wide variety of prices. We have this from Sparrow Brothers, but you can order, we have things from Wamsutta, Bed Bath & Beyond. There's a whole range of price points, and you can get the 100% cotton, 200 thread count, really good stuff. You can get it on sale.
Good.
And then keep on going.
Right.
This is from Spiegel, and I think it's a wonderful idea that they had, just to do a little gold bullion fringe like you usually have on a sofa.
Yes.
And then underneath, Anne Gish again.
All right.
Look at this Panne velvet dust
Beautiful.
ruffle, which is exquisite.
And there's more under here. Look at this.
It's like a ball gown. There's a
Wow.
crinoline so that it stands out from the bed. If you have a bed in your house and it does not have a dust ruffle, it is not finished. It is like a dress without a slip.
Wow, this is a great look. And it's all layered, and you don't necessarily have to match everything.
Don't match.
I
You don't
noticed
have to
that.
go in and buy a flat sheet and a fitted sheet and 4 pillows. Look at all the colors
Look
that
at
we've
all
done
these
on the
pillows
bed.
that you've thrown in here.
And they don't have to be expensive. We have some Anne Gish, we have some Sparrow, we have Wildcat Territory, which is a wonderful young designer in New York who does great pillows for like $30 and $40.
There's no room to sleep in there.
Just toss the pillows out. Well, we've got another duvet to put on the bed
Oh,
yet.
look at this. We've got about that. All right, this is a little different look. This is more like a country look.
It is, and I like to think this could be a masculine bedroom, and I know people have a tendency to think, oh, men should sleep in this completely austere brown and black environment. This is from Spiegel. $399 for this pencil post
Really?
bed. Very Directoire style. We've matched it up with the ottoman with a suede cover. You could, I mean, if you are uncomfortable with the floral motif and you're a single man, you're a bachelor, you can go with the stripes. This is Nancy Colty's, another young designer. There are young designers out there doing really fun things in fashions for the bed. Then we have Wamsutta and we have Palais Royale. If you didn't want to do the yellow, you have the blue and white stripe, which is a nice alternative.
I notice there's a lot going on here. You've got some solids, you've got some prints, you've got some stripes.
Mix
All
it
of that
up.
works.
Mix it up. That's what makes it look like a designer bed. If you notice in the magazines and on the shows, the bed is super luxurious. They're very thick. They always have a feather bed and masses of pillows.
Right now, I've noticed you've added some lace back here.
I
too.
did, and I don't think that it makes it look completely unmasculine. I mean, a little bit of lace way at the back of the bed. Remember, even men want to rest when they go to bed. They want to have a
course.
sanctuary. Why shouldn't
We got more pillows here?
Throw them on. Throw them on.
Goodness. Hey, now these look. Now are these needlepoint?
These are needlepoints, and they're from Casa de Del in New York. They're available across the country, and they are not absolutely antique, perfect little pieces that you get at, at like an auction or anything. They're new, they're reproductions, and they look wonderful. Needlepoint does not have to be feminine. And neither do these beds.
Well, just one more time, recap. What do we look for?
Well, I think you look for height.
Right.
Number one, I think it looks nicer to have a higher bed. Dust ruffle is the one critical essential.
Got to have a dust ruffle.
Got to have a dust ruffle.
Okay.
Got to have a comforter, and you need that feather bed.
All right, and mix
Every
and
one
match.
of us.
You don't have to make everything.
Mix and match, make the whole thing, mix it up.
Terrific, Marcia. Thanks so much.
Good to see
Great
you.
tips, great ideas.
I'm going to jump in my
We'll be
bed.
back with more in just a moment. Stay with us on Our Home. Okay, I think I'll just relax.
We're back with Gordon Elliott's Door Knock Dinner. Barbara, do you mind, in a moment, can you give the girls a little sort of, because, being on TV, while you're being made over, you're going to give the Sun Provence feel to the home. How?
We're going to do a home makeover. And we love your house. Your house is fabulous. The colors, the greens are going to go great with yellow, which is going to be our dominant theme. He loves an island.
As in
we're
the
gonna bring
sunflowers of Provence?
The sunflowers of Provence and the yellow colors and the Aubusson carpets. And let the madness begin.